Thanks for staying with your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, here on S3. This next story is mind-blowing and so inspiring. Our next guests, Justin Gomes and Arabella Leggett, are here to offer a gift of hope, a much-needed gift of hope. Now, The Cloud That Helped People See. It's a newly released illustrated book that aims to give readers perspective, empathy, reassurance, and above all, hope at a time when we all really do need it most, as we've all been hit differently by the COVID-19 pandemic. And author Justin Gomes and illustrator Arabella Leggett, they join us in studio this morning to tell us all about this fantastic book and this incredible collaboration between the two of you. Good morning. It's so good to see you.
Thanks. Hello.
Justin, Arabella, well done. I'll read a quote here, and this is something Justin said. When stories, or rather stories that are not told, are wept. Justin, the story that you're trying to tell is a powerful one, but please take us through it. What is the story you're trying to leave us all with?
I think, as you so correctly said, the pandemic has affected us all in so many different ways. And at the beginning of the pandemic, we lost our beloved domestic Dorothy to COVID. More than a domestic, she's, second mother to my children and sister to my wife, in a sense. And my kids started asking questions that I couldn't answer with, all the data and statistics and graphs. And as important as they are, there's also, I think, a time where we need to use stories to help us navigate this almost mythological time. As a species, we're hardwired for storytelling. It really helps us move forward and take meaning and purpose from experiences. And I don't think there are a lot of stories out there, at the moment that can help us at a time like this. So that's where the story was born almost. I originally started writing it for my children, and as I went through the journey, I just started realizing what it was doing for me in terms of helping me, and also, so many adults who read the story. Suddenly it helped them zoom out a bit and try and get some perspective and maybe take some meaning out of what we've been through.
There is certainly something about stories and sharing our own stories that connects us and that makes us see and realize, reminds us rather, that we're not alone in this mess, right? Arabella, your collaboration stems from your very unique style of storytelling. Tell me about your approach to storytelling.
Well, I was very fortunate that Justin decided to get hold of me, and he'd sent me a few examples of traditional sort of illustrations, botanical illustrations, so usually done in watercolor and sort of soft washes and things like that. So we decided to go ahead with doing it in watercolor.
But how did the partnership, and I'm very curious to find out how the partnership actually came about. I mean, Justin, where did you get Arabella's number from? And what was the thing that said Arabella is the perfect person to help tell the story?
It's a wonderful story, and I think so much of this journey has just been so serendipitous how everything is lined up. We worked together in our very first job in advertising. I think it was about 1998, and wow. Bella was a designer and I was a writer.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. And we got teamed together, and then Arabella, left advertising quite shortly after working with me, I hope not because of me. 20 years later, when I wrote this book, I had my references, and I actually phoned Bella. It was the beginning of hard lockdown, and I said to Bella, I'm sending you some images, can you recommend some illustrators? Put the phone up against the wall, and there was this beautiful reference in exactly the same style, and she'd just done an exhibition, and she said, Justin, I'm not going to recommend anyone, I'm your girl. So she jumped on the project, yeah.
Well, is Justin the only person that's allowed to call you Bella, or should I stick to Arabella or Bella?
No, Bella is great.
But Arabella, getting involved in a project like this really does require of you to really commit yourself in every sense of the word.
Absolutely.
What did you take out from this experience? What was your key takeout?
I suppose, I'm sure everyone going through lockdown has experienced this terrible sort of, loneliness and mostly spending time with family and starting to realize how much more important family is than anything else. But I'm also completely obsessed with nature and animals, and I must say I'm not that fond of the human race.
Oh, Bella.
And you knew.
and the people watching this right now.
Yeah, I think basically the whole thing is that it's time for people to catch a wake up and stop destroying this beautiful planet and all of our gentle creatures that...
Got to be kinder, right?
Absolutely.
Justin, mental health is a big focus and a big conversation that's taking place all over the place at the moment. And I imagine that through this experience that you've had of the loss that your family suffered, you have been rocked in some way, in a huge way, in fact. Why is it so important that we're able to share stories like this to help each other overcome issues that are related to mental health?
Well, you said earlier, stories connect us, makes us feel we're not alone. And as amazing as technology is, and I'm a big lover of technology and all it does for us, there are certain tools that we need to also remember. We have ancient wisdom, hundreds of centuries passed down, these stories, they're here to help us, and we need to share them and we need to talk about them. And if we don't talk about them, we become hostage to these experiences, and stories are what can really, really help us move forward and connect and realize we're not in it alone.
I love this. Arabella, Justin, well done. I think that the cloud that helped people see is going to be a life-changing experience for all of those who do get to read it, and I hope that people go out there and really, this book must sell out. And I hope that there are many other collaborations coming through between the two of you. We look forward to them. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Excellent. Thank you so much for having us.
So fantastic. A story for all ages, a story of loss and finding hope after. That's author Justin Gomes and illustrator Arabella Leggett's message to the people of South Africa. Go out and buy yourself a copy. Yes, do it. We're doing a book giveaway of The Cloud That Helped People See. Listen to this. All you need to do is answer the question, what is something positive that you've taken out of the COVID-19 pandemic? There has to be some silver lining somewhere there. Share your experience or your answer on Expresso's Facebook page, T's and C's on expressoshow.com. The competition will close at 12 o'clock on Thursday, the 9th of December. Well done again, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thanks, Teresa. Awesome.